We use water all day, every day, right? But you ever actually stop and think about what happens after it swirls down the drain? Well, today we are going on a pretty incredible journey. We're going to follow that water from our homes through a hidden world right under our feet and see how it gets back into the environment.
So let's just jump right in. Every time you wash your hands, do a load of laundry, or flush the toilet, you're kicking off this amazing journey for that water. The big question is, where does it actually go? I can tell you, it doesn't just vanish. It enters a secret world that's absolutely essential to how our cities work and how we all stay healthy.
To really get a handle on this, we're going to break the journey down into 5 main stages. First, we'll see how clean water gets contaminated in the first place. Then, we'll travel along the hidden highway it takes. After that, we'll step inside the treatment plant to see a pretty amazing transformation. You'll also discover its surprising second life as a resource. And finally, we'll look at the part you play in this whole cycle.
Okay, so part 1. Our journey begins with something super simple: water going down the drain. It doesn't matter if it's from your kitchen sink, the shower, or even rain washing off the streets. The second it hits those pipes, it's not just water anymore. It becomes something we call wastewater, and that's really where the cleanup story begins. Now, the technical term for all this used water is sewage. And yeah, I know it sounds a little gross, but here's the thing to remember: it's actually still mostly water. The real challenge, the whole reason for this journey, is everything else that's mixed in with it, this complex cocktail of stuff from our daily lives. So what exactly is in this sewage cocktail? Well, it breaks down into 4 main groups. First up, you've got organic waste, things like human waste, food scraps, you name it. Then there's inorganic stuff, like nitrates and metals. Add to that a bunch of nutrients, like phosphorus and nitrogen. And finally, you have a whole universe of microbes, some of which are pretty nasty and can cause diseases like cholera and typhoid. It's a complicated problem that, you guessed it, needs a pretty clever solution. Okay, so once this wastewater exists, it has to go somewhere, which brings us to the second leg of our journey, the hidden highway that carries it all from our homes to the place where it gets cleaned up.
Right under our feet, right now, there's this vast, totally unseen world, a massive network of pipes we call sewers. This whole sewerage system connects all our homes and buildings, and it acts like a dedicated transport network, carrying all that wastewater away from where we live and work and towards its final destination, the treatment plant.
And all those pipes, they all lead to one central hub, the wastewater treatment plant. This is where the real magic happens. It's where technology and nature, biology really, team up to give that dirty water a second chance. So the treatment process isn't just one step, it's a whole series of stages. We can break it down into 4 key steps. First, the water passes through bar screens. Think of a giant strainer that catches all the big stuff. Second, the water flow is slowed right down, so heavy things like sand and grit can just settle to the bottom. Third, it flows into a huge tank called a clarifier. And finally, the aeration stage, where billions of tiny biological helpers do the final deep clean. Let's zoom in on that third step, the clarifier, because this part is pretty low-tech but super effective. Basically, the wastewater just sits in this enormous tank. Gravity does all the work. The heavy solid stuff sinks to the bottom, and that forms a layer we call sludge. All the lighter stuff, like oil and grease, floats to the top and just gets skimmed off. The water left in the middle is now much, much cleaner, and it's got a new name: clarified water. And now for that final crucial cleaning step, aeration. Air gets pumped through the clarified water, and this creates the perfect environment for helpful bacteria to thrive, specifically aerobic bacteria that love oxygen. These little microscopic organisms are the true heroes of the whole process. They literally eat up any of the remaining wastes, like soaps and tiny food particles, leaving the water even cleaner than before. But here's the thing, the process doesn't just end with clean water, and this is where the story takes a fascinating turn. The waste that was removed, it gets transformed into a valuable resource.
Remember that sludge from the clarifier, the stuff that sank to the bottom? Well, it's not just thrown away. In a modern treatment plant, that sludge is actually the raw material for creating something incredibly useful.
So here's how it works. The sludge is moved to a big sealed tank. In there, a different kind of bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, which don't need oxygen, get to work breaking it all down. This process produces something called biogas, which is a renewable fuel. It can be used to generate electricity, and often it's used to power the treatment plant itself. The leftover solids are then dried out and processed into manure, which is a fantastic natural fertilizer. It's a perfect loop, a circular system where absolutely nothing goes to waste.
This whole system is pretty amazing, right? It does a fantastic job cleaning our water, but it can't do it all on its own, and that's where we come in. So for this last part, let's talk about the vital role we all have in keeping this cycle running smoothly.
So, what can we actually do? Honestly, it all comes down to being mindful of what we put down the drain. Cooking oils and fats might be liquid when they're hot, but they solidify in the cold pipes and cause massive clogs. Solid things like food scraps, cotton balls, or sanitary towels, they just don't break down and they block up the system. The rule of thumb is really simple. If it's not water or human waste, it belongs in the bin, not down the drain.
And look, this isn't just about preventing plumbing problems in your own house. It's about protecting our shared environment and our public health. There's a great quote from Mahatma Gandhi that I think fits perfectly here. No one need to wait for anyone else to adopt a humane and enlightened course of action. Our small individual choices really do add up and make a huge difference for everyone. And that's the wastewater story. It's a hidden journey of transformation that's happening all around us every single day. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with the question to think about. Now that you know the whole journey, from your drain and back again, what's one small change you can make, starting today, to help our water?